Hello everyone. In today's video we will be looking at the Druidic staffs build for soloing group dungeons and static zones. Let us take a look at the items you are using for this specific set. Here we have a Druidic staff with the second Q, the first W, and the first passive, a Spectre Hood with the third spell and the first passive, Hellion Jacket with its Lifesteal Aura and the first passive, Guardian Boots with Giant and the second passive. We have a Musak and a Limhurst cape. We need the Limhurst cape to compensate for the Musak's energy consumption. You can also use the energetic passive on your staff to increase your energy sustain. Now let us take a look at how each of these spells work. So the Q is pretty simple. You just use it 3 times and it does damage whenever a enemy stands on it. W is also the same. It's a damage spell. Now, your E has a interesting mechanic as this is meant to heal 2 targets. I'll show you what you mean here. So, I can heal, I used it 2 times on this one dummy, but technically you can use it on 2 mobs. So, the first E will only set your cooldown to 20 seconds, but if you use the second E, the cooldown will be increased to 30 seconds. When you're using a E on yourself, as in you don't have any party and you're soloing, you should always use this E only one time, as the second E will not give you any additional health. It will only increase your cooldowns. Now let us talk about the Hellion Jacket. The Hellion Jacket does AoE damage in a 8 or 7 meter radius around you, and half of the damage that it does to your enemies will be reflected back to you as health. This is a lifesteal spell that does 50% lifesteal. Now what the Spectre Hood does is it resets your armor cooldown. Now if you look at this, my Hellion Jacket is at 20 seconds. I use my helmet and the cooldown is back to 0. It puts our helmet at 1 minute cooldown, but we can use the Hellion Jacket 2 times now. This is really important when you're fighting big pulls where you just can't sustain yourself from the E spell and one Hellion Jacket. You can use the Flash of Insight spell to reset your Hellion Jacket's cooldown. And another really important part of this build is the roast pork. The roast pork is a huge source of your sustain. 9.5% of all the damage you do will reflect back to you as healing. So using this damage spell will also heal you when it hits multiple targets. Now let us see how much this W spell can heal us just with its damage. I have used the roast pork and let's check the damage from the W. Assuming I hit 3 targets. So I got healed for 16 on the first tick and 173 on the second tick. Now that is from a damage spell, that is not healing from a healing spell. Let us look at the Q. So you see you get passive healing like 50 every second. This is the most important piece of sustain in your build and you should always use this. If your gear is a little lower tier, you can use 7.1 roast perks. Those help you a lot as the lifesteal is a little higher than 9.4 on those. Now let us talk about the giant spell on your guardian boots. This spell is simple. It makes your health pool double, and since your health is doubled, the amount of damage you take from the mobs when you are a giant is also technically halved. Now this also has another implication where when you heal yourself when you are a giant, the healing is also reduced by half. So you should never use your Hellion jackets or your E spell when you are in the giant form, as it reduces your healing by half. Now let us look at the invisibility potions. These are really nice. I always recommend these potions for any build that solos group dungeons. If you are having a tough time in there, if you think you are going to get down, just use a potion. Most of the time you can just go invisible and reset the pool completely without suffering any durability losses. This will help you prevent a 300,000 repair bill while using a 10k potion. So always carry invisibility potions with you when you are soloing group dungeons. We do need a item swap if you are using a low tier build such as a 6.3 or a 6.4. You can't kill bosses with the Hellion Jacket anymore in the 6.3s and 6.4 sets. So just swap the Hellion for the Mercenary for killing bosses if you need it. Try it with the Hellion first, but if you can't kill them with the Hellion, swap over to Mercenary. Now, let us take a look at some of the clips I have made so you can get a better idea of how this build works in the dungeons. Okay, so we have got a decent sized pull over here. While pulling your mobs, use the giant spell, place the queues under stationary mobs, get the mobs you want to pull together, place queues again, use the W spell for damage, and when you are on low health, you should use the Hellion. Use your E spell. You got healed from the E. Use the Hellion again. Now this pull would be a lot easier with the Hellion Jacket before its nerf. Now sadly that it's been nerfed, it's just not as good as it used to be. Now if you look at this, I almost killed everything and I was about to get downed. So I just used an invisibility potion to reset my aggro. Now this 10k worth of potion just prevented me a 300k repair bill. This pull was a perfect example of how you should play this build, as we got to see how to pull the mobs, we got to see in what order you should use your spells, and we also get to see when you should just use the invisibility potion and dip out of the fight. Let us continue with the fight now. At this point, if it's just one or two mobs, you don't have to pay that much attention to the screen. You can just kill them casually. You can use your e-spell a bit early, as it takes time for the spell to proc. If you have seen my other videos on soloing group dungeons, I usually do it with a shadow collar, and the speed of that build is considerably higher than this one, but then again that build is a lot more expensive. So you just have to make your choice depending on your budget and your playstyle. Oh, we got a double boss. Oh, right. Whenever you are fighting a double boss, you should always target the boss with the highest health pool first. And if you can just kill this boss, you can reset and go for the second boss again. The boss won't respawn if you reset, so just kill one of them. If it's hard to kill two at once, you can reset later. Oh, I think I dodged that one, my mistake, right? I kinda wasted my Hellion Jacket there, taking all the damage. We'll get healed from the E-spell. Now this boss is really annoying. The Big Spencer is quite strong too. I have my E-spell again, and I will use my giant spell after the E is done, like now. If you noticed, I have interrupted the snipe spell from this boss with the W spell. Have my Hellion backup, use the E, and that's that, you're good. You won't die from this anymore. We also have the second Hellion jacket back from the Spectre Hood. Use it again. It takes some time, but eventually you can kill any boss in this game with this set. And he's down. Alright, we have another big pull over here. Let us look at how we should do it. When you are taking damage, use the giant spell to absorb as much damage as possible. Clump the mobs together so they all take damage when you use your spells. Use your E and R at the same time. Use your Q spells. And that is it basically. Now as you can see, I'm not max spec in this staff whatsoever. I'm at 75 and I'm using a 8.3. This build could get better if you use a 8.4 with maximum specs, but I just don't have them yet for this video. We have got a epic boss here, and let's try to kill this boss without using our alien jacket, our mercenary jacket first. If it does not work, we'll swap out our mercenary jacket. I'm using my alien jacket before my health goes low because the fight will drag on for a bit and the cooldowns will come back eventually. You just need to stay topped off. It procced my limit cape already, and he's at halfway of his health. After the heal pops off, we can go to giant form. Now we kind of wasted the giant because we did not get hit a single time when the giant was active. We have our alien backup soon. Right, we got him. And the fight was pretty easy. We did not need our mercenary jacket. Let's see what we got from the loot. 300k. Okay, not bad. Now, just like this boss, you can kill any other boss in the game using this set if you are in 8.4. But if you are in a low tier set or low IP set, just bring a mercenary jacket for the bosses you can't kill with the Hellion jacket, and you'll be fine. Right, we have finished the dungeon. See how much we got from this. 86. Okay, that is really good for a blue chest. So we got around 500k from the dungeon. That is really good loot. Alright, I have finished our dungeon and I have shown you all the good parts about using this build, like the high sustain, high tankiness from the guardian boots, and you can basically kill all the bosses in the game with this set. But there are some downsides to using this set over to a shadow collar or a battle axe. Now let us discuss the only downside of using this set, that is the damage output of the nature staff. This is just not enough damage to clear those dungeons fast enough. You can clear them with this set, and this is pretty reliable as you can definitely clear a group dungeon with this set even in 6.4. Now the only problem is that it will take you a lot of time. The dungeon I did was, I think, 30 or 35 minutes. With the other sets I use, that should be around 25 minutes or 20 minutes. Now you might think that 5 or 10 minutes is not that much of a difference, but that difference quickly adds up over time. If you did like 3 or 4 dungeons, that's like losing time to do one more dungeon. Or it affects your silver per hour quite a bit if you use this set. So if you can't afford a shadow collar, this is the next best thing next to the battle axe. So keep in mind, this build can do group dungeons, but it is slow. If you're fine with that, go for it. This build works fine. Right, that's it for the build guide. See you guys soon.